I always felt like I was born on the wrong planet. That is a common lament among people with ADHD, especially before they were diagnosed. I certainly felt that way when I was in my teens. We don't fit in, we struggle to finish things that everybody else seems to handle just fine. We don't understand why everything is so overwhelming. We're strangers in a strange land, and so rather than live in this land, what do we do? What do? You leave this world and retreat into your own inner world. That's interesting. It's a never-changing world of thoughts, worries, feelings, moods, all jostling for your attention. You're distracted by a non-stop flurry of random ideas. Some are brilliant, some are dumb and trivial, and you can't tell which is which at first, so you pursue them all, or you want to. They all sound good, and oh look, here comes another one floating by, and another one, and another one. Not knowing why you feel so out of place, you have several options. Number one, become a people pleaser to avoid conflict or risk being exposed as different and weird. You work twice as hard as everyone else to keep up until you burn out, or you snap into a rage like the kid with ADHD arriving home from school and then just throwing a tantrum because they are tired and they're fried and they're done and I hate you. Or option two, perhaps you vanish, retreating from the world, you duck and cover. In high school, I tried to sit behind the biggest kids in the class, hidden from teachers' gaze. Then there's option number three. You do the guy thing and turn your sadness into anger, becoming a prickly curmudgeon. ADHD, that's not real. I was like that. Eventually, it's natural to surrender and conclude, I wasn't made for this world. But Thom Hartmann, author of a number of books that put a positive spin on ADHD, is the proponent of another possibility, one I love. He suggests you're on the right planet, the right place, just the wrong time. So what is the right time for ADHD? 20,000 years BC? Stick with me on this. There's scientific evidence to support this possibility. Let's look at why. So in 20,000 BC, you might have been a very successful member of a nomadic tribe, a hunter-gatherer par excellence. Today you feel restless, driven, can't sit still, can't stop talking, which leads to problems at work and at home. Back then, as a nomad, you would have thrived because you have evolved to be restless, always on the move, walking faster than the rest of your clan even, scouting ahead, always on the search, always on the lookout for food, for shelter, for threats. When a potential meal catches your attention, you pursue that animal, hyper-focused, relentless, until you catch it, or it starts to get away and you grow tired, you lose interest, and you look around for what's next. Sound familiar? Changing jobs when you're bored, moving, starting new hobbies, new businesses, new projects, new relationships, pursuing them relentlessly until you're bored, and then you're on to the next thing. Today, unfortunately, the world's economy demands planning, structures, consistency, producing the same thing over and over, like cars coming off the assembly line. Today, you learn by sitting in a classroom, listening to lectures, or following written instructions. But back then, you learned by playing, like lion cubs or cats, honing their hunting skills, always trying things out. And no one ever says, sit still and be quiet, you're a nomad, unless you're tracking wild game. And today, insomnia is epidemic. It's a big problem. Mind racing, 3 a.m, pulling all-nighters, fueled by stress, worn out. Back then, your natural nocturnal tendencies are a strength because you stay vigilant all night long. You are the one who is tending the fire, guarding the entrance to the cave while the rest of your clan sleeps. You're a hero. Today, you need frequent naps. You're just worn out. But since you're at work, you rely on caffeine, nicotine, and sugary snacks. Today, you're labeled annoying blabbermouth or a drama queen. You're an entertainer. Back then, you'd be the shaman, telling the stories, creating myths about the universe, acting out stories around the campfire, and of course, exaggerating the details. You're not lying, really, just making it more memorable. And then the world changed. It got tamed by farmers, by agriculture. Plant a seed, wait patiently for 6 months, and hopefully you get some food. Can you imagine? You're a nomad. You have to sit and squat on a plot of land and tend it carefully. Farming? Suddenly you, the nomad, have to build a home, put up some fences, tame animals. You join other farmers together to build walls to protect your food and your water from those hunter-gatherers, those nomads. And because farming produces a bounty of food, there's enough to support bigger families. Lots of kids means free farm labor. Soon the farmers outnumber the hunter-gatherers. They take over. With lots of crops comes trade and commerce. You have time to develop, well, you don't. Other people develop metals, carve stones, make tools, boats, silk. They build things, and that needs more land, more things to maintain, more stuff you have to defend. But inside, you're still a restless hunter. So maybe you take off traveling as a trader or a mercenary, an explorer. It's risky, it's dangerous, and you love it because you're good at it. So what does it mean? Well, you're on the right planet, but it's now an era of taxes, warranties, insurance. We live in a completely different world that has come along suddenly in a couple of thousand, well, really most of it in the last 1,000 years. And humans haven't had time to adapt. Now, if all this sounds a little silly or a bit of a stretch, well, studies have found that the few remaining nomadic peoples actually score much higher for ADHD. And if you watch my series on the best careers for ADHD, you'll notice a lot of them require a physical energy, an ability to adapt to change, constant movement, progress, taking risks. Many of us do find a planet where we fit in, a world where we fit in, the world of entertainment or sports, computers, first responders, the arts, construction, or we could just have a regular office job and then unleash our nomad on the weekends. I'm even wondering if those nomadic genes explain why so many of us get diagnosed, connect with others, and proclaim, I found my tribe. So it could be that you are on the right planet. The challenge is to use that brilliant hunter-gatherer brain to hunt down ADHD-friendly tools, strategies, supports, and situations where you can thrive. I'm Rick Green. Thanks for watching. I don't know about you, but I got to get up and move.